Top 10 Strangest Creatures in the World. There is a version of Earth you know. A world of forests, oceans, skies, and familiar animals, creatures that move in ways that make sense. Birds fly. Fish swim. Mammals walk, run, hunt, and sleep. It feels ordered. Predictable. Understandable. But that version of Earth is only a fraction of the truth. Because hidden beneath the surface, far below the waves, deep underground, or tucked away in isolated ecosystems, there exists another world. A world where the rules are different. A world where evolution has taken strange turns, where survival has demanded unusual solutions, and where life has shaped itself into forms that seem almost impossible. Creatures without faces. Animals that never grow up. Bodies that dissolve, regenerate, or rebuild themselves. Organisms that can cheat death. At first glance, they seem unnatural. Like mistakes. Like something that shouldn't exist. But they are not accidents. They are the result of millions of years of pressure, literal and environmental, forcing life to adapt in ways that defy human expectations. Because evolution does not aim for beauty. It does not aim for logic. It does not aim for anything at all. It simply rewards what works. And sometimes, what works is strange. In the darkest parts of the ocean, where sunlight never reaches, creatures have evolved transparent heads, glowing bodies, and jaws designed for ambush. In isolated lakes, animals have developed the ability to regenerate entire limbs, and even parts of their brains. In microscopic worlds, life has learned how to shut itself down completely, surviving conditions that would destroy almost anything else. These are not myths. They are real. And the deeper we explore, the more we realize just how little we truly understand about life on this planet. Scientists estimate that we have discovered only a fraction of Earth's species. Millions more remain unknown. Which means, the strangest creature in the world might not even have been found yet. But among the creatures we have discovered, some stand out. Not because they are dangerous. Not because they are powerful. But because they challenge our idea of what an animal is supposed to be. Tonight, we are counting down 10 of the strangest creatures ever discovered. Each one more unusual than the last. Each one a reminder that nature doesn't follow our expectations. It rewrites them. So as we begin, keep this in mind. These creatures may look alien. They may seem impossible. But every feature, every adaptation, every strange detail exists for a reason. Number 10, the Blobfish. At number 10, we begin with a creature that has become a symbol of ugliness across the internet. The Blobfish. Its image is everywhere, drooping face, sagging features, an expression that looks almost defeated. It's often described as the ugliest animal in the world. But that label says more about us than it does about the Blobfish. Because what you're looking at is not what the Blobfish really looks like. The Blobfish, scientifically known as Cycrolutes marcedus, lives in one of the most extreme environments on Earth, the deep ocean. Specifically, it inhabits depths between 600 and 1,200 meters off the coasts of Australia, Tasmania, and New Zealand. At these depths, sunlight is completely absent. Temperatures hover just above freezing. And perhaps most importantly, the pressure is immense. Over 100 times greater than at the surface. To put that into perspective, if a human was suddenly transported to that depth without protection, their body would be crushed almost instantly. But the Blobfish is perfectly adapted to survive here. Its body is not built like most fish. It doesn't have a strong skeleton. It doesn't have dense muscle tissue. Instead, it is composed primarily of a gelatinous mass, slightly less dense than the surrounding water. This allows the blobfish to float effortlessly just above the seafloor without expending energy. In an environment where food is scarce, conserving energy is critical. The blobfish doesn't chase prey. It doesn't hunt actively. It simply waits. Small crustaceans, mollusks, and organic debris drift through the water. If something edible comes close enough, the blobfish opens its mouth and consumes it. No pursuit. No struggle. Just efficiency. And in its natural environment, under crushing pressure, the blobfish doesn't look like a sagging blob at all. It looks like a fairly typical deep-sea fish. Its body holds its shape. Its features are intact. Nothing about it would seem particularly unusual. Until it leaves that environment. When blobfish are accidentally caught in deep-sea trawling nets and brought to the surface, everything changes. The pressure that once supported their bodies disappears. Their gelatinous structure collapses. What was once a stable form becomes distorted. Sagging. Melting. The face that has made the blobfish famous is not its true appearance, it's the result of rapid decompression. It is, in a sense, a version of the animal that was never meant to exist. And yet, this distorted image has defined the blobfish in popular culture. It has been turned into a joke, a meme, a symbol of failure. But the reality is far more interesting. Because the blobfish is not ugly. It is specialized. It is a product of a world we rarely see, a world of darkness, pressure, and scarcity. A world where looking normal would actually be a disadvantage. In that environment, strength is less important than buoyancy. Speed is less important than efficiency. And appearance doesn't matter at all. There's something almost philosophical about the blobfish. It challenges the idea that beauty, or even normality, is universal. What looks strange to us may be perfectly suited to a different set of conditions. And perhaps, if we lived under the same pressures, we would look just as strange. Number 9. The Axolotl. If the blobfish represents adaptation to extreme environments, the axolotl represents something even more unusual. A refusal to change. The axolotl, Ambystoma mexicanum, is a species of salamander native to a very specific place, Lake Xochimilco in Mexico. Or at least, what remains of it. Once part of a vast network of lakes and wetlands surrounding Mexico City, Xochimilco is now a fragmented ecosystem, heavily impacted by human activity. And within this shrinking habitat lives one of the most extraordinary animals on Earth. At first glance, the axolotl looks almost cartoonish. It has a wide, flat head, a permanent smile, and delicate, feathery gills that extend from either side of its neck like soft, branching trees. It looks like something designed, not evolved. But its appearance is only the beginning. Because the axolotl does something that almost no other vertebrate does. It never grows up. Most amphibians follow a familiar life cycle. They begin as aquatic larvae, breathing through gills, living in water. Then, through a process called metamorphosis, they transform. They develop lungs, lose their gills, and move onto land as adults. Frogs, toads, salamanders, this pattern is consistent. But the axolotl breaks that rule. It reaches sexual maturity without undergoing metamorphosis. This condition is known as neoteny. The axolotl retains its juvenile features for its entire life. It remains aquatic. It keeps its external gills. It never fully transitions into the land-dwelling form typical of its relatives. In other words, it becomes an adult while still looking and functioning like a larva. From an evolutionary perspective, this is unusual. But it's not a mistake. It's an adaptation. The stable aquatic environment of its habitat allowed the axolotl to thrive without needing to transition to land. There was no pressure to change. So it didn't. But what truly sets the axolotl apart is not its life cycle. It's its ability to regenerate. If an axolotl loses a limb, it grows it back. Not just partially. Not imperfectly. Perfectly. Bone, muscle, nerves, blood vessels, everything is restored exactly as it was. But it doesn't stop there. Axolotls can regenerate parts of their spinal cord, sections of their heart, even portions of their brain. And they can do this repeatedly, without scarring. To scientists, this is extraordinary. Human bodies can heal, but only to a point. We form scar tissue. We lose functionality. We don't regenerate complex structures. But the axolotl does. And understanding how could change everything. Researchers study axolotls in hopes of unlocking regenerative medicine, treatments that could one day allow humans to regrow damaged tissues, repair spinal injuries, or even restore lost limbs. It's not science fiction. It's biology. And yet, despite its incredible abilities, the axolotl is critically endangered in the wild. Urbanization, pollution, and invasive species have devastated its habitat. It survives mostly in laboratories and controlled environments. A creature capable of rebuilding itself. Struggling to survive in a world it cannot adapt to fast enough. There's something almost poetic about that. The axolotl resists change on a biological level. It stays in a state of youth, of possibility. But the world around it changes anyway. Faster than evolution can keep up. And so, one of the most remarkable creatures on Earth faces an uncertain future. Not because it is weak, but because the environment it depends on is disappearing. Number 8. The Barreleye Fish. In the deep ocean, where sunlight fades into darkness and shapes dissolve into shadows, vision becomes something entirely different. It's no longer about color, or detail, or beauty. It's about survival. And in that environment, one creature has evolved a way of seeing the world that is so strange, it almost doesn't look real. The barreleye fish. Scientifically known as Macropinna microstoma, this small, elusive fish lives at depths of around 600 to 800 meters in the Pacific Ocean. A region often referred to as the twilight zone. Here, light barely penetrates. The sun exists only as a faint glow far above. Predators and prey are often visible only as silhouettes. Movement is subtle. Everything is quiet. And in this strange, dim world, the barreleye fish has developed one of the most unusual heads in the animal kingdom. Because its head is transparent. At first glance, the barreleye doesn't look like a fish at all. Its body is small and dark, unremarkable. But the top of its head is encased in a clear, fluid-filled dome, like a living glass helmet. Inside that dome, you can see its eyes. Not where you'd expect them. Not on the sides of its head. But inside it. Two bright green, tubular structures that appear almost mechanical in design. For decades, scientists were confused by this. Early specimens, damaged during collection, gave the impression that the fish's eyes were fixed upward, permanently staring toward the surface. The theory was simple: the barreleye looked up to detect prey silhouetted against the faint light above. But that wasn't the full story. Because later observations, made possible by deep-sea submersibles, revealed something far more complex. The eyes can move. They rotate. Inside the transparent dome, the eyes can pivot forward, allowing the fish to look directly ahead. This means the barreleye has two modes of vision. Upward facing, scanning for silhouettes. Forward-facing, tracking prey. It's a level of visual flexibility that is almost unheard of. And it changes how we understand this creature entirely. When the barreleye spots potential prey, often small crustaceans or jellyfish, it adjusts its gaze, aligning its vision for precision. But there's another challenge. Many of its prey have defensive mechanisms. Some jellyfish, for example, have stinging tentacles. So how does the barreleye feed without harming itself? Its transparent dome isn't just for vision. It also acts as protection. A shield. The dome covers and protects its sensitive eyes as it navigates through dangerous prey. And those small, dark spots on the front of its face. They look like eyes. But they are not. They are its nostrils. Everything about the barreleye fish challenges expectations. Its face is misleading. Its eyes are hidden. Its skull is transparent. It doesn't just look strange. It forces us to rethink what a head even is. And yet, in its environment, it makes perfect sense. In the deep sea, light is scarce. Predators lurk above and below. Food is limited. Every advantage matters. The ability to see in multiple directions without moving your body. To track prey while remaining almost motionless. To protect your most vital organs with a transparent shield. These are not random traits. They are solutions. Elegant ones. But perhaps the most fascinating part of the barreleye fish is not what we know. It's what we don't. Because despite its uniqueness, it remains largely mysterious. It is rarely seen, difficult to study, and easily damaged when brought to the surface. Much of what we understand about it comes from brief encounters in its natural habitat. Which means there is still more to learn. And in a place as vast and unexplored as the deep ocean, there may be other creatures like it. Watching, adapting, evolving in ways we haven't even imagined yet. Number 7. The Platypus. If the barreleye fish feels alien because of where it lives, the platypus is strange for an entirely different reason. It lives in a world we know well. Rivers, streams, freshwater habitats. Places humans have explored for centuries. And yet, it still doesn't make sense. The platypus, Ornithorhynchus anatinus, is native to eastern Australia and Tasmania. At first glance, it looks like a collection of mismatched parts. A duck's bill, an otter's body, a beaver's tail, webbed feet, dense fur, and somehow, all of it works. When European scientists first encountered the platypus in the late 18th century, they didn't believe it was real. Some thought it was a hoax, a stitched-together fake created to deceive them. Because mammals don't look like this. Mammals don't lay eggs. But the platypus does. It belongs to a small and ancient group of mammals known as monotremes. Egg-laying mammals. This alone would make it unusual. But the platypus doesn't stop there. When it hunts, it closes its eyes, and its ears, and its nostrils. It becomes, in a sense, blind, deaf, and unable to smell. So how does it find food? It uses electricity. The platypus's bill is covered in thousands of electroreceptors, specialized sensors that detect tiny electrical signals. Every time a muscle contracts, it produces a small electrical impulse. Prey animals, like insects, worms, and crustaceans, emit these signals as they move. The platypus can detect them. It sweeps its bill through the water, sensing invisible patterns of electricity, mapping its surroundings without seeing them. It's like a biological radar system. Precise, silent, incredibly effective. This ability is so refined that the platypus can determine the direction and distance of its prey based solely on electrical signals. In murky water, where visibility is low, this gives it a massive advantage. But even this isn't the end of its strangeness. Because the platypus is also venomous. Male platypuses have spurs on their hind legs, connected to venom glands. During breeding season, these spurs can deliver a powerful dose of venom. It's not lethal to humans, but it is intensely painful. Victims have described the pain as excruciating, far beyond what most injuries produce. And it can last for days, sometimes weeks. Painkillers often have little effect. Why does it have venom? Primarily for competition. Males use it against each other during mating season. A reminder that even seemingly gentle animals can have hidden defenses. And then there's its method of feeding. The platypus doesn't swallow food underwater. Instead, it stores it in cheek pouches, then surfaces, grinds the food using specialized plates in its mouth, and only then swallows. Everything about its behavior feels slightly out of sync with what we expect. From an evolutionary perspective, the platypus is a window into the past. Monotremes split from other mammals over 160 million years ago, which means the platypus represents a very early branch of mammalian evolution. A branch that developed differently, kept some traits, discarded others, and created something entirely unique. It's not just strange. It's ancient. A living reminder that evolution doesn't follow a straight line. It branches. It experiments. And sometimes, those experiments survive. Number 6. The Immortal Jellyfish. Death is one of the few constants in life. Everything ages. Everything declines. Everything ends. At least, that's what we've always believed. But in the ocean, drifting silently through the water, there exists a creature that challenges that idea. The immortal jellyfish. Its scientific name is Turritopsis dohrnii. And despite its incredible reputation, it is small. Almost insignificant in appearance. Transparent. Delicate. Easy to overlook. But what it can do is extraordinary. Most animals follow a predictable life cycle. They are born. They grow. They reproduce. They age. And eventually, they die. But the immortal jellyfish does something different. When it is injured, stressed, or nearing the end of its life, it doesn't die. It transforms. It reverts back to an earlier stage of its life. A juvenile form known as a polyp. From there, it can grow again into an adult. And then repeat the process over and over. This process is called transdifferentiation. It allows the jellyfish cells to change from one type to another, essentially rewriting themselves. Instead of following a one-way path, from youth to old age, the immortal jellyfish resets the clock. It becomes young again. Not metaphorically. Biologically. In theory, this means the jellyfish could live forever. It does not age in the traditional sense. It escapes death by starting over. But there's an important detail. It is not invincible. It can still be eaten. Infected. Destroyed by environmental changes. Immortality, in this case, does not mean indestructible. It means it does not die of old age. Even so, this ability is almost unheard of in the animal kingdom. It challenges one of the most fundamental assumptions of biology, that aging is inevitable. Scientists study this jellyfish not just out of curiosity, but out of possibility. If we could understand how its cells reverse themselves, if we could learn how to control that process, it could change everything. Aging, disease, cellular damage, all of it might be approached differently. But like many of the creatures on this list, the immortal jellyfish is not trying to be extraordinary. It is simply surviving, adapting to a world where conditions can change suddenly, where being able to start over is an advantage. There's something almost philosophical about it. The idea that life doesn't have to move in one direction, that endings can become beginnings, that time, in some forms of life, is not a straight line, but a loop. Let's go deeper. This is where the tone shifts. These next creatures are less curious and more unsettling. Number 5, the Bobbit Worm. There are predators you can see coming. Teeth, claws, movement, a clear signal that danger is near. And then there are predators like this. No warning, no sound, no second chance. The Bobbit Worm, scientifically known as Unus aphroditois, this creature lives buried beneath the ocean floor, hidden in sand or sediment, with only a small portion of its body exposed. And that's all it needs. Because the Bobbit Worm is an ambush predator, one of the most efficient and terrifying in the ocean. At first glance, there's nothing to see. Just sand, stillness. But beneath the surface, a body that can grow up to 3 meters long lies coiled and waiting. Segmented, flexible, armed with rows of sharp bristles along its sides. Each segment capable of subtle movement, allowing it to remain anchored while staying ready to strike. Its head, barely visible above the sand, is equipped with powerful jaws. Serrated, fast, precise. When a fish swims too close, it's over. The worm launches upward with explosive speed, snapping its jaws shut around the prey. The strike happens in milliseconds. Too fast for most animals to react. Too fast, sometimes, even for the human eye to fully register. And once it has its prey, it pulls it down into the sand, disappearing completely, as if nothing happened. But the Bobbit Worm doesn't always kill cleanly. In some cases, its strike is so powerful that it can slice prey in half, leaving part of the animal behind, while dragging the rest underground. It's brutal, efficient, and perfectly adapted to its environment. Its body isn't just long, it's specialized. The bristles along its sides, called chitai, can inject toxins. These toxins can weaken or immobilize prey, making it easier to subdue. Combined with its speed and strength, the Bobbit Worm becomes a nearly unstoppable force within its small territory. And yet, it almost never moves from that territory. It doesn't need to, because eventually, something will come to it. Perhaps one of the most unsettling things about the Bobbit Worm is how often it goes unnoticed, even in controlled environments. There have been multiple cases of Bobbit worms appearing in aquariums, completely undetected. They arrive hidden in rocks or substrate, invisible. At first, everything seems normal. Fish swim. The ecosystem appears stable. Then, slowly, fish begin to disappear. No bodies, no clear cause, just absence. Until one day, the worm is discovered. Already established. Already feeding. already part of the environment. It's a reminder of something deeper. That danger doesn't always announce itself. That sometimes, the most effective predators are the ones you never see. The ones that wait. Patiently. Silently. Until the moment is right. Number 4, the tardigrade. Now, from one of the most terrifying predators to one of the most indestructible organisms ever discovered. The tardigrade, also known as the water bear. At first glance, it doesn't look impressive. It's microscopic, usually less than a millimeter long, with a plump, segmented body and 8 tiny legs, each ending in small claws. It moves slowly, almost clumsily, like a creature that doesn't belong in a world of speed and competition. But appearances, in this case, are completely misleading. Because the tardigrade may be the toughest animal on Earth, possibly even beyond Earth. It can survive conditions that would kill almost anything else. Extreme heat, extreme cold, radiation, crushing pressure, and even the vacuum of space. Temperatures near absolute zero. It survives.
Life is all
Temperatures
around us,
above boiling.
but the smallest animals are impossible to
survives.
see without a microscope.
Radiation levels that would destroy
This
human
little
DNA.
fellow is a tardigrade,
It
surrounded
survives.
by other microscopic animals
How?
called rotifers.
The answer lies in something
These were
called
found in a single drop of
cryptobiosis.
water from a bird bath,
When conditions become
And
too
here they
harsh,
have
the
everything they
tardigrade
need
shuts down
and almost no predators.
completely. It expels almost all
Tardigrades
the
are commonly
water from
known
its
as water
body.
bears.
Its
This is
metabolism
because of
drops
their
to near
bear-like
zero.
appearance when they waddle around
It curls
looking for
into a
food.
dry, compact form known as
But unlike
a
a bear,
tongue.
tardigrades
In
have
this
8 legs
state,
to walk
it is
around.
neither alive in the traditional sense.
Tardigrades
nor
of
dead.
this species are herbivores,
It exists in suspension,
plant eaters.
waiting.
They walk
Years
around
can
like
pass.
cows of the microworld,
Decades,
grazing on algae
possibly.
and other plant material.
And then, when
However,
water returns,
Not all tardigrades are grazers.
when conditions
Some are
improve,
hunters and eat things like
tardigrade
bacteria,
rehydrates.
single-celled organisms,
its cells
rotifers,
reactivate,
and even other tardigrades.
its metabolism resumes, and it
Tardigrade.
continues living, as if nothing happened. This ability is not just theoretical. Tardigrades have been revived after years in a dormant state. They have been exposed to the vacuum of space, outside spacecraft, and survived. Not just survived. Recovered. Continued functioning. Their resilience comes from unique biological mechanisms. Special proteins protect their DNA. Their cells stabilize in ways that prevent damage during dehydration. They essentially replace water in their bodies with protective molecules, preserving their structure, their integrity, their ability to come back. From a scientific perspective, tardigrades are incredibly important. They challenge our understanding of the limits of life. They raise questions about where life can exist, and how it might survive in extreme environments beyond Earth. If an organism can survive space, what does that mean for life on other planets? Or for the possibility of life traveling between them? The tardigrade doesn't hunt. It doesn't dominate. It doesn't rely on strength or speed. Its power lies in endurance, in patience, in the ability to outlast. And sometimes, that is the most powerful adaptation of all. Number 3, the vampire squid. In the deep ocean, where oxygen is scarce and darkness is absolute, there exists a creature with a name that suggests horror. The vampire squid. Its scientific name is Vampirochuthus infernalis, which translates to vampire squid from hell. It sounds dramatic, and at first glance, it seems fitting. Its body is dark, almost black. Its eyes are large and luminous, reflecting what little light exists. A webbing of skin stretches between its arms, giving it a cloaked, almost ghost-like appearance. And when threatened, it performs a display that is both fascinating and unsettling. It turns itself inside out. Its arms curl back over its body, exposing rows of spiny projections. This is known as the pineapple posture, a defensive display designed to make it appear larger and more dangerous. But despite its name and its appearance, the vampire squid is not a predator in the traditional sense. It doesn't hunt large prey. It doesn't attack. Instead, it feeds on what is known as marine snow, tiny particles of organic matter that drift down through the ocean. Dead plankton, fragments of organisms, waste material. To most creatures, this would not be enough. But in the oxygen-poor depths where the vampire squid lives, energy is scarce, and efficiency is everything. The vampire squid uses long, filament-like structures to collect this material, drawing it toward its mouth, consuming what others ignore. It survives where others cannot. Not through aggression, but through adaptation. It also has another defense. Instead of releasing ink like other squids, it releases a cloud of bioluminescent particles. Glowing, sparkling, like a burst of underwater stars. This confuses predators, distracts them, allows the squid to escape into darkness. Its entire body is covered in light-producing organs called photophores. It can control these lights, create patterns, signals, illusions. In a world without sunlight, it creates its own. Perhaps the strangest thing about the vampire squid is what it represents. It is not fully a squid, nor fully an octopus. It belongs to its own unique evolutionary lineage, a branch that split off millions of years ago and evolved separately, becoming something entirely different. It is a survivor of extremes, a creature that thrives in conditions most life cannot tolerate. Low oxygen, high pressure, total darkness. And in that environment, it doesn't just survive. It exists with a kind of quiet elegance. A reminder that even in the most hostile places, life finds a way. Number 2. The Red-Lipped Batfish. In a world filled with creatures that glow, regenerate, or defy death itself, sometimes, strangeness takes a different form. Not terrifying, not powerful, but undeniably unusual. Resting on the sandy seabed, barely moving, is a creature that looks like it belongs somewhere else entirely. The red-lipped batfish, scientifically known as Ogocephalus darwini. At first glance, it's hard to know what you're looking at. Its body is flattened, almost disc-like. Its fins extend outward like limbs. And its face is unmistakable. Bright red lips, perfectly defined, as if carefully painted on. It's one of the most bizarre visual traits in the animal kingdom. And it raises an immediate question. Why? Why would a fish evolve something that looks so human? The answer, as with most things in nature, is not about appearance. It's about function. Though scientists are still studying the exact purpose of those vivid lips, one leading theory is that they play a role in mating. A visual signal. A way to attract attention in an environment where many creatures rely on subtle cues. In the muted tones of the ocean floor, a flash of bright color stands out. And standing out can make all the difference. But if its appearance is unusual, its movement is even more so. Because the red-lipped batfish is not a strong swimmer. In fact, it barely swims at all. Instead, it walks. Using its modified pectoral fins, the batfish moves slowly across the seabed. Step by step. Like a creature that never quite decided whether it belonged in water or on land. This method of movement is energy efficient. Perfect for a lifestyle that doesn't rely on speed or pursuit. Because the batfish, like several creatures on this list, is not a hunter in the traditional sense. It is an ambush predator. On top of its head is a small, often overlooked structure. An extension that resembles a stubby antenna. This is called an elysium, a modified dorsal fin, and it functions as a lure. The batfish can wiggle this appendage, attracting small prey, fish, crustaceans, and other organisms curious enough to investigate. And when they get too close, the batfish strikes. Quickly. Efficiently. Despite its slow, awkward appearance. Everything about the red-lipped batfish seems contradictory. It looks delicate, but it's a predator. It looks like it should swim, but it walks. It appears almost comical, but it's perfectly adapted to its environment. And that's what makes it so fascinating. Because it reminds us that evolution doesn't aim for elegance, or grace, or even logic, as we understand it. It builds what works, even if what works looks strange. The batfish lives primarily around the Galapagos Islands, an ecosystem famous for its role in shaping our understanding of evolution. It was here that Charles Darwin observed species adapting to their environments in unique ways. And in many ways, the red-lipped batfish feels like a continuation of that story. A reminder that evolution is still happening, still experimenting, still producing creatures that challenge our expectations. There's also something quietly profound about its existence. In a list filled with creatures that survive through extreme adaptations, immortality, indestructibility, regeneration, the batfish survives by doing something simpler. By being just strange enough. Just specialized enough to carve out its place in the ecosystem. It doesn't need to be the fastest, or the strongest, or the most resilient. It just needs to be different. Number 1, the Yeti Crab. At number 1, we arrive at a creature that feels like it belongs in myth. A creature discovered not in ancient stories, but in the depths of the ocean. The Yeti Crab. First discovered in 2005 in the South Pacific Ocean, near hydrothermal vents, the Yeti Crab immediately captured attention. Not because of its size, not because of its behavior, but because of its appearance. Its claws are covered in long, silky, hair-like filaments, giving it a look that is both delicate and otherworldly, like something pulled from legend. Hence the name, Yeti. But these hairs are not for warmth. They are not decorative. They are functional. Because the Yeti crab does something almost unbelievable. It farms bacteria on its own body. The hydrothermal vents, where the Yeti crab lives, are among the most extreme environments on Earth. Water temperatures can fluctuate dramatically. Toxic chemicals, like hydrogen sulfide, are constantly released from the Earth's crust. Conditions that would be deadly to most life forms. And yet, these vents are home to entire ecosystems. Ecosystems that do not rely on sunlight, but on chemical energy, a process known as chemosynthesis. The Yeti crab has adapted to this environment in a remarkable way. The hair-like structures on its claws, called setae, are covered in bacteria. These bacteria can detoxify the harmful chemicals in the water. And in some cases, they may also serve as a food source. The crab waves its claws through the water, encouraging bacterial growth. creating ideal conditions for them to thrive. And then, it consumes them. It grows its own food on its own body. It is both host and farmer, a self-sustaining system in one of the harshest environments on Earth. But this relationship is delicate. The crab must remain within a narrow range of conditions. Too close to the vent, and the heat becomes lethal. Too far, and the bacteria cannot survive. So the Yeti crab exists in a constant balancing act, positioning itself precisely where life is possible, where chemistry becomes biology, where survival depends on maintaining equilibrium. In some areas, Yeti crabs gather in large numbers. Clusters of pale, almost ghostly figures against the dark seafloor. Each one waving its claws. Each one sustaining its own miniature ecosystem. It's a scene that feels almost surreal, like something from another planet. And in many ways, it is. Because environments like hydrothermal vents are considered analogues for extraterrestrial ecosystems. Places where life might exist beyond Earth. If life can thrive here, in darkness, under pressure, surrounded by toxic chemicals, then perhaps it can thrive elsewhere too. The Yeti crab represents something larger than itself. Not just adaptation, but possibility. A reminder that life does not need sunlight, does not need familiar conditions. It only needs the right chemistry, the right balance, the right opportunity. And when those exist, life finds a way. We've traveled through deep oceans, darkness, extreme environments, and microscopic worlds. We've seen creatures that defy expectation, animals that regenerate, that refuse to age, that survive conditions beyond imagination, creatures that look like they belong in fiction, but are undeniably real. And yet, none of them are accidents. None of them are mistakes. Every strange feature, every unusual behavior, every adaptation exists because it works. Because, at some point in time, it made survival more likely. And survival is all evolution requires. What we consider strange is simply unfamiliar, a reflection of our limited perspective. We are used to certain patterns, certain shapes, certain rules, but nature has no obligation to follow them. It experiments, it adapts, it creates, without concern for what we expect. And perhaps that's the most important thing these creatures teach us. That life is far more flexible than we imagine, far more creative, far more resilient than we often give it credit for. Because if a jellyfish can escape aging, if a microscopic organism can survive space, if a crab can farm life on its own body in toxic darkness, then the boundaries of what is possible are much wider than we think. There are still millions of species we have yet to discover. Entire ecosystems we have barely explored. Depths we have not reached. Worlds within our own planet still hidden. Which means the strangest creature in existence may still be out there, waiting. So the next time you see something unusual, something that doesn't fit your idea of normal, remember, normal is just what you're used to. And on a planet like this, strange is everywhere.